So, what are we doing and why are we doing it?
All right. Well, we just watched the reveal for Prison of Elders. I'm Briar Rabbit. You are
Story Machine.
And we're going to talk a little bit about this reveal. I'm actually pretty excited about the whole thing. Story, how are you feeling about it?
I was good, man. I watched the entire stream naked, and I was sweating profusely and singing to myself. I'm really happy to see Prison of Elders have a comeback, because of everything in the House of Wolves, I felt that was like such a short-lived flash in the pan. I know a lot of Destiny fans weren't really happy with the horde mode kind of idea, but I didn't really play so much of it that I got bored, and I really enjoyed the Skulless challenges and stuff like that. So to see that come back with loads of new bosses is really fine, in my opinion.
I'm okay with this too. I did get bored with Prison Elders. I played it quite a bit when it first dropped, and I didn't find that it was it didn't last long enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they're bringing a lot of stuff into the version 2 Prison of Elders, right? We've got 8 brand new bosses. They said that if you play the challenge mode, you're going to get 16 weeks of varying scenarios that won't repeat, which I thought was a major problem with Prison of Elders version 1, is that there were basically 3 different versions of it, or 4 different versions of it, and that would just start repeating very quickly.
Yeah. No, I mean, the question that's on my mind at the moment is, are we going to see as much replayability of it this time around in its new incarnation as we did in the beginning? Or is it going to have, a much more, is it going to draw us back a lot more? I mean, yeah, there's more bosses this time. I suppose that question will be answered with the loot.
The loot is big. The loot was terrible for the Prison Elders.
Yeah.
I mean, so they really got to step their game up in that aspect.
I liked collecting the armor. I was a sucker for armor and having different armor sets for different weapon reload types and grenade throwing distance. That was my favorite perk for gauntlets and stuff. So if I could get a full set of armor for my 3 favorite primaries for the reload speed, as well as grenade throwing distance, and then get the set of all the helmets and all that kind of thing, I was really happy. So I was always making sure I had my armor core each week, trying to get each character class all their bits and pieces. So it is, I think a lot of it does pin on the gear, and I guess we're going to find that out next week.
They did an odd thing with Prison Elders armor the first time around, though, in that the armor was situational depending on what kind of enemy you were fighting. So you could end up with 4 or more sets of Prison Elders gear, just based on, is this going to be more effective against Take-In, or against Hive, or against the Vex, and so on,
It was almost like throwaway perks, and it was a little bit too specific, having armor that pertained only, the perks only having relevance or an advantage within the Prison of Elders. I think that was probably not such a good idea. It should have been a bit more general.
So next week we'll find out more about the gear. We're going to find out... Well, we got a little sneak peek. Did you see that sniper rifle at the end that they had earned? I think it looked interesting. Yeah,
man. I mean, that model, it is a bit of a reskin, but at the same time, that model hasn't really seen that much light of day. Plus the fact we got those 2 extra nodes. The nodes, I saw the chat going mad. Look at the nodes!
Look at the nodes! Yeah, there's brand new
nodes
that they didn't reveal what was in them. I did like that. It looked like it was a high impact sniper, right? High enough that it would red snipe. It was a model that we don't see too often on that archetype. It looked like a good sniper rifle, and the perks were good too.
Yeah, man. Well, I think it was useful as well. The high impact thing, even though lower impact snipers are still kind of fun to use in Crucible, they're still not a staple diet of a Guardian's arsenal, is it really? Having those lower ones, especially for things like Trials. You want a sniper rifle that you can basically strap on your back and keep using every time for every multiplayer activity, as well as the PvE content as well. So keeping it at the high impact levels, I think, was a good idea.
Yeah. Hopefully it's his... what was the Prison Elders? The Queen's Wrath? No, what was that?
Oh, the Her Benevolence.
Her Benevolence, that's the one. That was a popular sniper rifle, so we'll see if this one can be as popular.
I got royally screwed on getting a good Benevolence, for both characters on Xbox and PlayStation. It took me ages to get a good one. So if there's one that's going to kind of come back and fill the boots of her benevolence, then I'm going to be happy. But please give me some better RNG than last time,
and
Lord.
no shank burn, please.
Yes, and no shank burn.
So we're getting two new versions of the Prison Elders. We're getting the level 41 version with 4 new taken versions of bosses. So it's like Varix, they said, has been storing taken in the prison. There is a treasure room, but you're not going to need keys anymore.
Thank the heavens.
Yeah, you can actually earn Vanguard marks like you would through heroic strikes by repeatedly going in here. Okay. And you can raise your light level up to 320 inside the level 41 version of the Prison Elders, which is nice. So if you've been looking to hit 320 or you're having trouble getting to 320, this is another avenue to do that.
Yeah, man, I'm 319 at the moment, and a Nat's toupee away from 320, and I've been stuck there for quite some time, so it's going to be kind of nice getting straight in there, having the chance to progress up the mastery ladder.
And it kind of sounds like, since there is going to be a treasure room, it might be a different loot pool than we get in the challenge mode. So there may be a reason to go into both of these during the same week.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if they're going to divide it like we had with the original Prison of Elders. We had this like weapons core thing and an armor core. Wasn't there something on the stream actually that suggested that there was like a split between the two? It wasn't random from a pool of like possible loot. I think there was like, when he cashed in that score mark, there was something pertaining to weapon token or something like that.
So that's for the challenge mode. The challenge mode is going to work a little bit like Brother Vance's kind of
the bounties.
You buy his kind of scorecard. You buy a card to get into trials. There's going to be a card that you buy from Varix, and that's going to have a couple of different score marks on it. One is going to be a high score, which is going to be the highest score as a team that you can get in one run of Prison of Elders, and then one is going to be a cumulative score, which you can go in repeatedly to try and fill that up. And when you get those, if you get the high score, you automatically get a weapon from Varix. And if you get the cumulative score, you automatically get a piece of armor from Varix. And you can complete one of those per week. They didn't say, I don't think, if it was going to be one per character or just one per week. I assume it's going to be one per character.
Yeah, hopefully, like one per character and one time each per week. I think that would go in line with the traditional systems that we've seen in the past.
And the challenge mode will be level 42, so it'll be a little more difficult. And it gears you up to light level 335, which is going to be the new max. So not a big light level jump going from 320 to 335.
And I can imagine that's going to take quite some time to try and achieve that, especially with it being kind of segmented over a weekly basis, But it should be like that, And as long as we have the kind of same power differences with light level as we have currently at the moment, there's not like a massive difference between somebody that's like 315 and 320 or even 310 and 320 at the moment. Like it's a notable difference, but it's not like a huge margin or anything like that. So having things boat along quite slowly isn't necessarily a bad thing to kind of keep the life in the content. It's just if they start starving things back, or if you get constant duplicates from the loot, that's where I see a little bit of trouble, possibly along the lines.
I found frustration with that with Oryx, with the hard mode in the Taken King, was that I'd keep going in there and I'd keep getting gear that was below level until they introduced the challenge mode. But with challenge mode coming out right off the bat with Prison Elders, hopefully at least the loot ought to be worth getting. Hopefully it'll feel good. There's also a brief mention of Sterling Treasure, which they will reveal next week, but I wonder if that'll be like guaranteed 335 gear.
It's difficult to say, isn't it? Like, if we look at the patterns that we've seen before in the past, then I would say that possibly there'd be something else coming out, like just to break things up a little instead of blowing all the load in one. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll hopefully find out a bit more information on that next week with the next reveal stream.
Yeah. I thought the scoring was interesting. It gives you like a competitive nature to the Prison of Elders. We talked about it a little bit before, but they can change what modifiers are on the score. So what we were watching today had precision kills give you bonus score, right? It'd be interesting to see what other modifiers are there. Maybe melees, maybe supers, maybe grenade kills. There's a lot of different directions they could go in with that. And I like kind of working with your team to rack up that score.
Yeah, I mean, that was the cool thing that I liked about the existing Prison of Elders. It was a very team-based, game mode, and even more so when you were on the level 35 fighting against Skolas.
Yeah,
because that was pretty tough. That was pretty tough for a lot of folk until it was rebalanced, and the spawning of adds was based more along the damage that you'd done on the boss as opposed to like a time-based structure, so you just didn't get swamped, so team-based stuff, definitely thumbs up. So having this scoring system based on how quickly you get things done as opposed to trying to farm the hell out of it, I think that's definitely a good step in the right direction.
One of the good things about Prison Elders was that team base. You only had a fire team of 3, so everybody had to be on their game, especially once you got to level 35, the Skolas fight. You didn't see a whole lot of carries going on in that, that was not a popular thing because it was hard. It was not like a raid where you could have 3 veterans carry 3 rookies through.
Yeah.
You really had to be on your game, especially when you had to move that tank around.
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot with my dad. He's been playing Destiny for just over a year now. He's 67. He's played Vault of Glass. He's played Crota's End. He's played all the hard modes. He's played the King's Fall raid. He hasn't played a hard mode King's Fall because that's pretty difficult for my pops, that one. And I can see that the Prison of Elders wasn't really something that he could actually get into too much because of how dependent, because... but I'm pretty sure that in this incarnation I'll be able to get him in here and there, because he does really enjoy it. So I'm gonna have to try my best to do a little bit of carrying with another strong guardian of sorts. Yeah, so it's gonna have to be done because he's pretty psyched up for the new stuff.
With the way the light level works now, like if you go into the Oryx raid and you're at like 310, you're pretty well set up, even though the max light level is 320. Once you hit like 309, 310, 311, really, maybe it's like 311, really, you feel like, any gains I make past this are going to be just extra, but I feel competent at 311. I wonder what that level will be like for the challenge mode, because 335 is going to be hard to attain, but once you hit like 328, 329, 330, is that where it's going to kind of level off and you're going to feel more competent?
To continue with the patterns that we've seen so far, I think it's going to be tough. I think that this isn't going to be easy stuff, because we knew we weren't going to be getting like a full, DLC like we did this time last year. The whole roadmap has kind of changed in that respect. So we've got like a decent portion of reinvented, older, favorable content. So I think a lot of this is going to be based on it being challenging, team-based, a lot more challenging, and possibly even more challenging than the stuff that we've seen so far.
I'm okay with a challenge as long as it seems fair.
Yeah, as long as it's like rational, good challenge with rational behavior that doesn't make you want to take a bite out of your controller and rip a chunk of your hair out. But all in all, though, impressed. Like, I wasn't expecting like huge amounts, because it's just not possible to come up with massive amounts of DLCs like this often. So I'm really happy to see Prison of Elders making a comeback. It's nice to see that we've got the whole Taken spin on things as well.
Yeah, we get a new strike, and we're getting at least one kind of reformatted strike with the Archon Priest.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's more of those too.
And that Taken shader, man, I want to know how you get it. Give it me. I want it now.
I'll take that now, please. Can I pre-order the Taken shader?
that Titan armor looked pretty sweet as well.
With the blue accents? Yes, please.
Yeah. It was kind of like a mixture of like Vex and Tron kind of stuff going on there. I'll put me down for a set of that. I'll take that.
Yeah. Everything they showed, I thought looked pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep Destiny players satisfied until supposedly the next big DLC will come in September.
Yeah.
That seems like a long time for this one to go. But there are 16 weeks of varying scenarios. That is encouraging.
Yeah, and the sandbox, the whole shifting, we'll find that out in 2 weeks' time, 2 Wednesdays from now.
Yeah.
I think that's the ticket to really carry on the content until the fall, where we have this supposedly much larger portion of content coming. So a lot of it will pin on not just this new PvE stuff, but what happens with Crucible. I'm really hoping that the fixes are going to be coming, as well as the muchly needed rebalance. That's the kind of stuff that will really help complement this new PvE content.
Yeah. The PvP really is the end game.
Man. Yeah.
Once you get your Guardian all leveled up and you have all the gear you want, it's fun to test that stuff out against other Guardians.
Yep, that's the thing. And with Trials still being insanely popular, even with content droughts and players leaving, it's still popular. You can still catch a massive stream of Trials. We've still got loads of really talented and good players out there that are broadcasting every weekend. Mm-hmm. So there's still a demand for it there. It's just, I think that a lot of the players really desperately wish for some tuning to actually happen. All those little changes that are happening in Crucible at the moment, they're really positive. I've been playing Crucible on and off all throughout the day, and as much as I've been moaning about it on Twitter, as I often do, I notice the good stuff and I give praise for that good stuff. But there's a lot of this, the glaring issues that are still there that aren't necessarily related to unfixable problems, as opposed to being a little bit stubborn on the whole kind of politics kind of thing. And when they were talking about rebalancing in the stream, I was getting very excited, because this is where, I love Crucible. I love the whole atmosphere, the environment, especially the 3v3. I just wish that we didn't have the glaring issues that we have, at this present time. There's many people have suggested good fixes for it, and they're there. The opinions and the know-how is right there. It's just getting the folks on the design team to actually try it, and
it's a perfect opportunity to get it done.
Yeah. Test the stuff out. A lot of the suggestions that are coming from players are really clever and really logical. People who spend a lot of time playing a game generally do have something educated and rational and logical to say about possible balances, I've noticed. So if trying some of these things out would be massively advantageous, I think. So I'm really hoping that third week of streams that we're going to get on the sandbox, I'm desperately looking forward to that.
Yeah, I always look forward to the weapons, seeing the new vendor weapons, seeing what cosmetically they can do to change it up, and just seeing what's new. But the Crucible, the sandbox, is the lasting impact, right? It's the stuff that makes or breaks how fun the Crucible is going to be for a while.
Yeah, and keeps us going, if it's good, and it's it gives you that motivation to keep coming back each time to get your fix of great action, then I've never really felt bad or complained about the lack of content within the game. It's always been the problems that make the game less fun to play. I can be a one-trick guy. I can be a one-horse town quite easily if it's a game that keeps me coming back. And Destiny has always kept me coming back, even when I've got super fed up of everything. But it's the frustration factor, and is it fun to play? The matchmaking fiasco and all that kind of thing. It just wasn't fun. People were playing, and they just had to put their controllers down, walk away, and play something else for a while, because it was no good. It was no fun at all.
Yeah,
but
varying reports on how much of that is fixed too. It really depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, and I think regions will always be very different. I think it must be very different over in my part of the world than it is over in your part of the world, and for other folks playing as well. I think, especially with how the matchmaker seems to work, if you've got a Netduma router and you disable it and just have a look at where the hosts are being selected from. It's quite an amazing thing to watch.
Well, the problem is that people from my part of the world and people from your part of the world are playing together.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. But I've noticed I've seen it work so well. Like before I ever touched a game or ever really got sucked into a game that had peer-to-peer matchmaking, I came from PC gaming. That was always my thing. So like having your own servers, like the Battlefield system, you have a server browser and you pick a server you want to join, bang, there is no matchmaking. Mm-hmm. You can elect to have matchmaking, but most people browse the servers for themselves and pick the modes and the size of the servers they want to play on. So finding people that are lesser skilled and more skilled is commonplace. It's like a real battle. You don't, in World War II, you didn't get the German officers going, nope, you're far too skilled for this group, Hans. You're going to have to bugger off back to the camp, mate, because these are American and British guys are just not as good. We need to sort you out. So I like that spontaneity.
Yeah, and lag sucks.
Yeah, but
like,
one
it's
thing,
just no fun playing a game that has a ton of lag.
Yeah, and that kind of completely defeats the object of matching things by skill. If you've got a bulletproof bastard face soaking up every shot that you're throwing at them, it's like, where's the balance in that?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we could waffle and moan about that till the cows come home. I think everyone is more than au fait with that kind of subject, but it is a subject that everyone is hoping to see a brighter future on, and I really do hope that day finally comes with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the loot next week, the sandbox stuff, it's good. It's nice to be having this flow of stuff again, instead of just complete and utter communication blackout. So now we have stuff to focus on and look forward to and speculate on and chat about and, get
as a
reacquainted
YouTuber,
with
it's
the game.
fun to have new stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just more exciting. You get psyched up to like make a video.
Yeah, man. I mean, my dad as well. Like he's just a total fan. He doesn't do any YouTube or anything. He just plays and he logs in every day.
Yeah.
He's retired, so he can enjoy games. And he's been a bit bummed out with the lack of stuff because he's a PvE guy. So now he's got something to, chomp upon gleefully. So
overall, like with the new strike, the new versions of Prison of Elders, the reformatted strike with the Archon Priest, what do you think? Overall thumbs up, overall thumbs down?
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that for, blanket hype. I'm not a blanket hype machine. I'll give credit where it's due, and then I'll moan and whinge and pick apart things when they're not so good. Mm-hmm. And I'm pleased. I wasn't expecting big drops like we got. This time last year, we were looking forward to House of Wolves, and House of Wolves was Prison of Elders, a bunch of new storyline missions, and finally Trials of Osiris. So, as long as we can... It's only been a year, like the Trials is still going, and as long as the Crucible gets some TLC, then we still have Trials in full swing, So having this injection to PvE content, it's realistic. I know how much... I can only guess how much work that it takes a developer to come up with this kind of stuff regularly, So I don't have any delusions in my mind of just how much stuff they can create in this time allowance, not since the last major content drop. So I'm pleased personally with that. I'm not...
I would like to see a little bit more. I would like to see a few new story missions, maybe find out what happened to the Queen, that kind of thing. I'm hoping that they're holding that back. They don't want to reveal it. They want it to be a surprise when it comes out. But other than that, I do want to see a couple more strikes added to the Nightfall list. I like that there's at least one new strike. I wouldn't have minded seeing 2 or 3 strikes, but like you said, they don't have the development ready to go. But I like what the changes to Prison of Elders. Obviously, not having played it, like I can't say if it's going to be awesome or not, but I do like that it's more varied than it was last summer with House of Wolves.
It's a good direction to be going in, and I think that was what I was secretly hoping for at the back of my mind was, are we going in a good direction here? And picking Prison of Elders, I didn't for 1 second think, they'll rehash and revitalize Prison. I honestly didn't think that would be the the port of call at all. I thought it was going to be some of the old raids, which I'm still kind of hoping for as well, because I miss those raids. There's just, apart from nostalgia, there's not much point in playing them for.
Yeah, it's just
stuff.
fun. It's fun to go back in, but it's not. You don't actually get.
Yeah,
gains
and I was a
from doing
huge
it.
fan of the armor sets, man. The Warlock Vault of Glass gear. My God, the helmet. Oh, I want that helmet back. Like, there was one YouTuber that discussed transmogrification. I think it might have been Willis Gaming, or it might have been Handish. One of the two. If you're not subscribed to them already, definitely give them a look in, because they know their stuff. But they were talking about transmogrification, like going back into things like Vault of Glass, getting out a Warlock helmet and being able to fuse the cosmetic appearance of that helmet with current gear. So you take the stats of the current stuff, so that they're not having to like reintroduce any kind of potential balancing problems. They just you're just taking the cosmetics of the old gear and pasting it on the new one. And just think, everyone's tastes are quite varied in what armor sets that they prefer the look of. Mm-hmm. Being able to have that now in the current system that we've got, it just completely opened up the world of the cosmetics for us. So
it is better now than it used to be, though. At least now you get Trials of Osiris gear, you get Iron Banner gear. Like, basically any gear that you've gotten since the Taken King can be max light gear. So you see a lot more variety than you did in year one. Yeah. Which is nice. You just have to earn that 320 gear and then infuse it into something else. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not like disappointed or hurt or upset or shedding tears or anything. You hurt my soul.
You destroy my soul, Bungie. No, I'm thumbs up, man. I am. It's that Crucible sandbox business that's the touchy, sensitive subject for me. I think that's the one where I'll probably be showing a lot more emotion on. But at the moment, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into some Prison of Elders farming for new stuff. Yeah, definitely.
That'll be fun. So we're both going to post this on our channels. And I wanted to ask you, where can people find you if they want to find you after they hear it on my channel?
Well, they can find me on my YouTube channel. I suppose we can say something like link on screen and in the description. Yeah. You can also find me on storymachine.com. It's spelt kind of funny, so you have to have a look at how that's spelt. And
it is. Whenever I have to spell it, I just copy and paste it from somewhere else.
Copy paste. That's what it was invented for. And Twitch and Twitter and stuff like that. I'm back in the saddle at the moment. There's new stuff coming, so you can see. Look, you can hear my phone in the background and everything. Look, it's busy. It's all systems go, man. And of course, I will be providing all the linkages to all of Briar's business on my channel as well. That'll be on screen in the description, and it'll be in nice golden frames with lovely Christmas lights and possibly jiggly ladies as
awesome.
Well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm pretty excited. I think we should probably do this again next week. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I'm definitely down for that.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.
Take care.